Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. So, viewers, all around the world, as the news breaks, no visa-free entry to the UK again. The United Kingdom has announced today that with immediate effect, all nationals of Trinidad and Tobago will need a visa before traveling to the UK, including on short visit. Listen to this.
From today, the 12th of March 2025, we are introducing a visitor visa requirement for nationals of Trinidad and Tobago travelling to the UK. This means that all Trinidad and Tobago nationals must obtain a visa before travelling to the UK for all visits.
Now viewers, the decision to introduce a visa requirement has been taken due to a significant increase in the number of Trinidad and Tobago nationals coming to the UK as visitors only to claim asylum on arrival, constituting a misuse of the immigration system.
Those planning to transit through the UK will now need a direct airside transit visa. In any country, including the UK, security, including border security, has to be our priority. We regularly review our visa and immigration policies to ensure they remain effective. On this occasion, there has been a significant increase in the number of unjustified asylum applications by Trinidad and Tobago nationals at the UK border.
Now viewers, in response, CARICOM and Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown stated that this move is within their rights. This is within their rights. But we do not see it as a Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this, We had too much Trinidadians going to the UK for a visit. And all of a sudden, you want to be an asylum seeker. Problems in Trinidad. Why? Why you want to be an asylum seeker? Because you're ducking at jail from Trinidad? Because you commit a crime and you can't stay in Trinidad again? Because somebody's looking for you? Because somebody want to kill you? Because you're a bandit? The police running you down? Somebody in Trinidad coming after you? So you decided to go to a visa-free country and seek asylum. I believe it's about 800 or 900 individuals from Trinidad enter the UK and are seeking asylum. You see how we are as a people? We Trinbagonians cause that upon ourselves. The changes which went into effect immediately will apply to all Trinidad and Tobago nationals traveling to the UK. A requirement for transit visa will also be introduced from tomorrow, March 13th. However, there will be a 6 weeks transit period until the 24th of April 2025, during which visitors who book their travel and obtain an ETA before the changes can still enter the UK without a visa. Listen to this.
There will be a short transition period until 23rd of April 2025 for visitors who already have confirmed travel booking and an electronic travel authorization. You can find all the
900 Trinidadians went to the UK to visit and end up seeking asylum on entry. Why? Because you did something in Trinidad and you had to run. So now those 900 now, you're going to be right back in Trinidad here if you don't get your visa. Whatever crime you commit or whoever is going to be after you, well then you will have to deal with them right here in Trinidad. It's sad. We as a people, We as our people screwing up our own selves. We as our people. But nevertheless, this is what we get for spoiling something good. Can we have anything good here among ourselves? Ask yourself that. As we move on tonight, the Trinidad and Tobago National Nurses Association is telling the government that while it is all well and good to construct and open new medical facilities, they cannot be efficiently run without proper trained staff. The association president, Heidi Stewart, is speaking or was speaking on the heels of the opening of the central block at the Port of Spain General Hospital. Stewart stated that these expensive hospitals will be operating below capacity. He believes that this facility will now be operating with unsafe staffing levels. While the membership is thankful for the new central block, it is the nurses that do the work. Stewart stated that the association has been lobbying for nurses for some time now, but to no avail. He added that no one wants to address the patient to staff ratio. Listen to this.
We will have these very lofty and expensive $1.3 billion hospitals in Couva, in Point Fortin. Every hospital is 1 point something. But let me tell the national public, every single one of those facilities would be operating below capacity. We are going to place those nursing personnel in an environment where one nurse will have to see about 10, 12, 13, 14 patients. How is that possible? How can you get quality healthcare in an environment like that? It is impossible.
Now viewers, Stewart, he also gave kudos to the PM on standing up against threat to revoke visas to countries who bring in Cuban medical personnel. Listen to this now.
We rely on our Cuban counterparts to supplement our healthcare system. So we have to be cautious. We know the environment we operate, this global environment, but we would want to thank the government, the Prime Minister, for standing up for our country. And if the only repercussion means some ministers will lose their visas, then so be it. If that is the only fallout we would be. But we cannot further deplete our healthcare system in Trinidad and Tobago.
Now viewers, the Prime Minister, Dr. Saieed Ali, has since come out of defense of Trinidad and Tobago's following the recent threat of U.S. visa restriction announced by President Donald Trump administration against government utilizing Cubans overseas medical mission.
Telling us something else. We rely a lot for our healthcare delivery on certain specialists who over the decades we have obtained from India, from the Philippines, sometimes from Africa, and mainly from Cuba. Out of the blue now we are being called human traffickers because we hire technical people who we pay top dollar equal to local rates, but we are now being accused of taking part in a program where people are being exploited. That's somebody's interpretation. And of course, there are local people here encouraging them to take away our US visas. Today, I just came back from California. And if I never there in my life, I will ensure that the sovereignty of Trinidad and Tobago is known to its people and respected by all.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, it is okay for the Prime Minister to stand up for what he thinks is right. Yes, we do use a lot of Cuban nurses and doctors in our health care. But we are having a problem right here in Trinidad. We have nurses. We have doctors who are looking for jobs in the hospital. So is the health ministry bypassing these nurses and doctors who are qualified? Yes, I understand we are looking at specialists. We are looking at specialists. Stuart said that they are working below capacity. Below capacity, each hospital. Why is this? Why is this? So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to see hundreds of UE students at St. Augustine staff. They are asking for better wage.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Realtalk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over, with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
At Realtalk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, viewers. I just want to read something for you viewers about the Cubans and then when they started to enter Trinidad and Tobago, when the ministers went to look for medical specialists. Now listen to this. Since 2003, the Trinidad and Tobago has engaged Cuban medical professionals to address healthcare shortage in Trinidad. Now, over 70 Cuban doctors were expected to arrive in Trinidad and Tobago within 2 months to take up appointments at the national hospitals. Now, this is in 2003. By 2009, approximately 260 Cuban doctors and nurses were working in the country's health sector. In February 2019, the Ministry of Health recruited 33 specialists, Cuban doctors, to address shortage in specific medical fields. Now, overall, it estimated that around 1,200 Cuban medical workers have served in Trinidad and Tobago since the collaboration. So viewers, from 2003 to present, over 1,200 Cuban workers have been in the hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for Trump to come out and say that sanctions on Cuban, they don't need that. We have been employing Cubans since 2003, specialists. We are hearing at present time now that there are doctors and nurses who are qualified and they are not getting positions in the hospitals to work. They are not even getting the opportunity. How is this now? What is the health minister saying or doing concerning these issues? Now, I'll tell you something. Security, health, and schools. This is supposed to be on top of every ministry. Every government that come into Trinidad and Tobago to serve our country, this is supposed to be priority. Security, health, and teaching. Three main factors that governs a country. Can I safely say that in Trinidad and Tobago, we are perfect with that? No, 1.4 million people, and we like Africa, way back in the desert. Hola, good night.
Saeed?
Go right ahead, you're live.
Okay, I'm calling from Toronto. Saeed, we reach, eh? We reach. We are at the bottom of it now. And I tell you something, the policies of this government, despite warnings of everything, they have crashed the economy. Crime is on the upsurge. These countries are them who imposing these visa requirements and whatnot. Technically, it's sanctions, you know. I hope America sanctioned Kate Rowley from the coming there. Because I'll tell you why. Right. And as you rightfully said, we have doctors and nurses here who are qualified, who are trained and have the necessary requirements, cannot get employment here. You hear Trump and them talking about they take more sanctions against Cuba and whatnot and things. But yet still we concentrated on bringing these people and them here into Trinidad. Whilst I agree that we need help. But at the same time, you have to remember this, that America who reaches out to us and assists us in every way possible. You understand? You cannot afford to do what you're doing. And then you want to blame the opposition and other people for what? Celebrating because sanction is being imposed on this country and then visa requirements and whatnot. It's the policies that you have done and the people who you link up with, drug traffickers, narco traffickers, such as Maduro and all of that. These governments outside there, they have problems in their country dealing with foreign migrants. And therefore, they are saying that we don't want these people to come here. But if you, as the Prime Minister, are allowing this thing to flourish in your country, no investors can come in here, Saeed. You understand? Your country has crime, the economy has crashed. What the hell people come in here for? To invest in. And you, as the Prime Minister, I hope America impose sanctions on you. And you cannot go there to get your health care checkup because you, Rowley, is a waste of blast time. You and your whole government, you have put this country in a situation where God, I don't know when after the election should come down and win, what they will have to do to reverse all this trouble and this bacchanal that you have put this country in. That people, if children, people sick, they can't go for medical. If children want to study, they can't go abroad because of all these visa requirements and all this kind of thing. Saeed, as I say, we reach. And if people don't use their head and this election coming and get this government out of office, get them out of office, let me tell you something, it's going to get worse and worse. Saeed, have a good night, friend.
You too, my friend. The viewers, UWI St. Augustine staff has again protested on campus for the second time in 2 weeks on an ongoing wage negotiation. Imagine this, 2 weeks now, UWI St. Augustine staff have been protesting for salary increase. 2 weeks now. Who authorized the ministers to get an increase in salary? UWI police stand guard outside the teaching and learning complex. 100 of disgruntled workers represented by the OWTU descended on the building where the campus council is currently presenting its annual report for the period 2023-2024. Listen to this.
Given by the CPU. So basically that is what we hear. We have the workers of NAPET who continues to work most of the times below, close to the minimum wage in some cases.
The OWTU says since 2018, they have been in discussions with NP for the negotiation period covering 2013 to 2016. The union says the most recent offer put on the table is a wage increase of 2% over a 6-year period. They are reminding the CPU that the recognition certificate is between NAPET and the Oilfield Workers Trade Union.
That you should settle for X or Y. It should be on the ability of the employer to pay its workers who work for them and produce for them. It is based on that the worker is supposed to receive the appropriate remuneration.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, workers at NAPET, a subsidiary company of the National Petroleum Company Limited, is also calling for the company to settle outstanding wage negotiation. The workers was also backed by the OWTU to demonstrate their protest. The OWTU is now claiming interference in the bargaining process. Vice President of OWTU, Sati Gajada Innings, is calling on the Chief Personnel Officer to set aside and allow NAPET, who have been saying that they could settle negotiation. She stated that NAPET continued to work below the minimum wage. The OWTU says since 2018, they have been in discussion with NP for the negotiation period 2013 to 2016. They stated that the most recent offer put on the table is a wage increase of 2% over a 6-year period. Personnel officer was also one of the individuals was in agreement that about 900 individuals in Trinidad and Tobago in prominent position should get salary increase. And I believe by the end of March, those 900 individuals who have gotten an increase will get it March month. Now we have UWI staff protesting. We have pilots protesting. We have doctors protesting. All for what? A wage increase. When I say those individuals who did the assessment and raised the wage and raised the salary and raised the pension of those 900 individuals, when I tell you them should get blind, when I tell you their head should turn a stroke like that, oh, Saieed say something wrong. How much people is protesting now? The pilots who carry you from Trinidad to Tobago and all around the world, they're begging for their increase. Imagine doctors now who working in the health centers and hospital, they're protesting now. I want every CPO seeing that. Trinidad and Tobago will wake up. Wake up. In a few days, the Prime Minister of this country will no longer be involved in politics. Or should I say, he's hanging up his belt. It's sad. There's an old saying, how you make your bed so you sleep. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago made sure that he made his bed proper. Proper. Now it's sleeping time for him. In a few days, he will be out of everything, and we will still be beggars on the street. What do I mean by beggars on the street? We will still be begging for wage increase. We will still be begging for a better Trinidad. We will still be begging for better roads, better health care, better teaching service, better security. Beggars on. Moving along. The Trinidad and Tobago Airline Pilot Association has extended its deadline for Caribbean Airlines Limited to settle outstanding negotiation before the union takes the matter to the industrial court. Can the pilot of Trinidad and Tobago just decide to say, you know what, we ain't coming to work today? Can 50 pilots just send in a sick leave? Can they do that? Industrial Relations Consultant Timothy Bailey stated that the matter was before the Ministry of Labour and the initial deadline was March 7th. However, the union accepted the ministry request and extended the deadline to March 31st, informing Carl via letter that day. In October, Minister of Finance Clongenberg announced he would agree to a 4% increase for the pilots for the 2015 to 2020 period and another 4% for 2020 to 2023 period. Bailey said the union agreed to the 4% increase for the first period during a meeting with Carl in December and proposed 4% for the second negotiation period, in conformity with the Minister of Finance approved figure. Over 30 pilots picketed the Piarco International Airport on October 3rd over the stalled negotiation. This demonstration did not result in any flight disruption, unlike a 3-day sick out in August 2023, which led to thousands of passengers being stranded and an estimated $15 million in loss to the airline. What do I say? Go on a 3-day sick out again. Go on a 3-day sick out, let the airline lose $15 million again. And then they would understand how important pilots are. You see, the Alsing understand how important his money is. The Prime Minister understands how important his salary is. The 900 individuals in Trinidad and Tobago who got an increase, they understand how important it is to get their money, plus an increase in everything, perks, pension, salary, allowance. They understand that. But for the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, no, it's not good for them. It's not good for them. Clongenberg got over 10% increase. We're offering pilots now who flying Clongenberg from Trinidad to the USA 4%. Imagine that, eh? It sucks. Hola, good night.
Again, yeah. Do you know that Clongenberg's son has a big position in Caribbean Airlines? I would like, if anybody knows the salary that he's receiving, if they could call and call you and tell you what salary he's receiving. And in addition to that, Saeed, hello?
I'm listening.
Right. Saeed, I read on the paper, I think it's 18 of the major airports in Germany all the pilots went on strike, all shut down. Thousands of flights postponed and what have you, I think. You know, it just goes to show the importance. They could cripple our country, you know, these pilots are there. But I don't know why they're not taking such a position to go on a total strike. As you just say that, just like the port workers.
Stand up.
Total strike.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. The pilots, they need to understand that they can't fly for free. They can't. You want to tell me the Minister of Finance got over 10% increase to his salary with perks and pension and allowance. They got the full package. But you're going to tell me they want to suffer pilots? Stall negotiation? It's stinking sad. One side you talk, all side you're blaming, you're bashing. When you go to the grocery and you ain't get the butter you want, what you just do? What you just do? You just leave all the other butters. You know why? You want that specific butter. You wouldn't compromise, you know. You wouldn't compromise for a week or two and use this butter. So the pilots of Trinidad and Tobago need the down tools. They need the down tools and let the public know, hey, here what's going on. We ain't flying. Now Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you a little news. 13 Pilots Association throughout the world is supporting Trinidad and Tobago pilots. 13 Pilots Association around the world is supporting Trinidad and Tobago pilots. That's the reason why I said they should down tools for another 3 days, let Cal lose another 15 million. Imagine, 3 days pilot decide, you know what, we're not working. Cal lose 15 million in 3. 15 million. Right? But you're failing now to negotiate with the pilot. How you call that, Trinidad and Tobago? Selfishness? I wonder who they learned that from. Bird, you had time. 4% or nothing. Nevertheless, moving along. Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, is urging, hold on, listen to this, Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, is urging the trade union representing port workers to settle negotiation with the Finance Ministry and Chief Personnel Officer. How much you want to give them? 4%? Sinanan reference last year protest action by the Seaman and Waterfront Workers Union, SWWTU, which disrupted port operation and prevented a new record of container scanned. He is urging the union to meet with the CPU halfway and be flexible in negotiation. Now listen to this.
Said it must be settled in a mature way because you cannot pay beyond what the port is capable of paying at this point in time. So we are not saying that we are not considering an increase. We are considering the increase. The increase has been put forward by the CPO. What has to happen now, we must have a mature conversation and said, okay, if we can't do this, let us settle on this. So let us meet at a certain point.
He was one of the 900 individuals that got a salary increase. Let's say something. Oh, side you're bashing. How long did it take them to get a salary increase? The Prime Minister moved from in the 50s to the 80s. From 50-something thousand to 80-something thousand. I don't have the figure in my head right now. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. In a few days, he going home and he collecting a back pay and a pension. The first pension and back pay he collect, he could build $1 million house. But Saieed Ali bash. Let me tell you something. I just always say, I am not here to bash, you know. I am here to hold those in Parliament accountable for representing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I do. And I will put you on the spot. Rohan Sinanan was one of the 900 individuals who is holding a high-ranking position in Trinidad and Tobago that got an increase in less than what? 2 months' time. In less than 2 months' time. And what do we say? What do we say to that? Congratulations, Rohan. I go continue protesting for my 4%, while I get 10 and more percent to go home. We dumb, we dotish, we stupid, we blind, we everything in one. Long time people just say, hey, you're dokedam. Never remember that word? You're blind, you're dotish, you're stupid, you're pagal, you're everything in one. Are we really like that? Are we really like that? It seems so because it looks like we can't stand up for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Minister of Works and Transport. We going down the road, you can't go down in a pothole, your boss are shocked, that is okay. Minister, go fix it. What the hell are you paying tax for? What are you paying tax for? To study by shocks? Study by tire? Or is it that you love when you go down in a hole and your alignment go out, your tire cut one side, and then when a license officer or police see you on the road now and they flag you down, you got $1,000 ticket. For what? Defective tire. Saddened? Like we love it like that. Port Authority secured an injunction barring port protests in November last year after hailing the SWWTU before the industrial court. Port workers again, they began protesting in August 2023 over stalled negotiation, with the unrest extending to the Scarborough port in Tobago by October. Efforts to reach SWWTU President General Michael Anderson were unsuccessful. Trinidad and Tobago, are we that stupid? Are we that stupid? Listen to this, eh? A retired construction worker has designed and constructed a bridge across the Godino River to replace the one that collapsed in June 2023 but was never built. Sokram Primchan, 64, who is also a farmer, single-handedly found drilled pipes into the river and constructed a sturdy walkway across the river at Avocat Village, Faizabad, using materials he had bought for a shed at his home. Listen to this, eh? He said, when the authorities failed to respond to the plea of the residents for a new bridge, he came up with a plan that would help his neighbors to get across the river and to link them to the rest of the community. The project was completed in a month and materials were valued at $16,000. Premchand said a pathway needed to be cleared from the main road to the access. The walkover, which also residents, it cost the residents $5,000. Last June, nearly 100-year-old bridge which connected the rural community to the rest of the community or the country fell into the Godino River, stranding at least 40 people who lived on the other side. In July 2023, Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinaran, said the ministry was ready to render technical assistance. So they wait till the blasted bridge fall in the river now, then you go and you render assistance. However, he said the bridge did not fall under the ministry purview, and the Minister of Local Government had indicated it fell on private land. So, is it now that that bridge is on private land? Is the Godino Bridge on private land? Is there any minister, whether past or present, took land for their own? It's a huge question, you know. It's a question that would raise eyebrow, you know. Rohan Sinaran said that that bridge fell on private land. Okay, good, no problem. No problem. All I don't want to spend money, no problem. Did any minister in ministries, past or present, took land that belonged to Trinidad and Tobago and call it their own? Somebody say something now. Somebody say something. Oh, we're reaching somewhere. We're reaching somewhere. That bridge is on private land, but it have ministers who could take land and say that land belongs to them. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but still locked on. There's more.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Realtalk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
At Realtalk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Minister of Energy and Energies Industry Stuart Young, as he promised more technology for farmers under his tenure as Prime Minister. Young is expected to take over as Prime Minister when Dr. Keith Rowley resigns on March 16th. Young said, looking at farmers in the room gave him confidence that the country was in good hands. He said, likely, everything in life, farming was changing rapidly, and he intended to keep the industry modern as Prime Minister. Young said there will be the rollout of new technologies in agriculture. Listen to Young alone.
So it pleases me here tonight, as someone who is going to have the responsibility to carry us forward, to see so many interested persons who are still willing to dedicate not only your time, your energy, but your livelihood and life towards our country's sustenance. And in our next tenure, one of the things I intend for us to focus on in agriculture, and I am told by Minister Hussein as well as Minister Singh that they are ready to do it, is the rollout of more technology in agriculture. Because as I'm sure you, the farmers, know, we now have the type of technology that is available to look at your soil.
Interesting. I wonder if this is the same model that they carry to Guyana. I wonder if this is the same module that they took to the Guyanese president. You cannot fix agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago, but you want to fix agriculture in our next country. It is amazing. It is amazing to know that you live in a country where you are a minister. You cannot fix your own country being a minister, but you're looking at a next man country and want to go fix his country. So Stuart Young has a model. Kazim Hussein is the Minister of Agriculture. So how come Kazim Hussein didn't introduce this? How come Kazim Hussein, as the minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, didn't make that stage presentation instead of Stuart Young? Oh, Saieed, you're bashing. But the Minister of Agriculture, he dead? No, he's alive. He's in the PNM administration. I swear to God, the man blind, he dumb, and he deaf. Because the Prime Minister, or let's just say, the incoming Prime Minister, has to make that statement. Saieed, you're bashing. Well, you had to be a real clown to tell me I bash it. It's sad. It's sad. The Minister of Energy presently, he's not the Prime Minister, you know. He had the Stuart Young presently is the Minister of Energy and Energies. Why is he making this statement? Where is the Minister of Agriculture? And everybody okay with that. All the farmers okay with that. They're listening to Stuart Young and they want to hear the Minister of Agriculture. It's stinking sad. Why haven't Kazim Hussein come out and said something about this? Trinidad and Tobago, why haven't the Minister of Agriculture came out with this. Upside down. They're upside down. Let me see that man total load. Show me back the man total load. I want to see that man total load again. The visual that you just show. Trinidad and Tobago, these farmers, this is how they just work. Look at them. That is how they work hard in the field. So while others sit down home, this is the farmers. Ministry of Agriculture gave out checks to 116 farmers in the sum of $11.5 million. Since 2019, 42 million already given in grants. Now Trinidad and Tobago. 116 farmers got the sum of 11.5 million. What did they do? You get money. But did we see growth? Did we see production? Did the money just go in pocket? Or let's say something now, man. Where is the Minister of Agriculture? Where is he? We haven't heard him for a long time. We haven't heard him for a long time. You're always in the background. You're hiding. Like they tell you not to come out or what? They tell you not to make a statement or what? Or they just say stay in the back and don't say nothing. Farmers are begging. It's sad. Sometimes it has hurt me sometimes to know how farmers is the kind of problem they go through. The kind of problem. So Kazem Hussein, what I need you to do is to come out a little more. Be a little more upfront. Let me tell you something. 41 MPs on the PNM slate. Do we see any of them? Do we see them? You know who we see? Keith Rowley, Terence Dial Singh, Rohan Sinanan. Who again? Who let us see again? Fitzgerald Hines. Who let us see again? Camille Robinson Regis. And who again? That's it. That's it. You see none of them again. Oh, Saieed Ali bashing. Who's your MP? Well, I don't know, but I bashing. You know your MP, but I bashing. Who you holding accountable in your community? Well, Saieed, I really know, you know, but I bashing. And so who is the clown now? Nevertheless, viewers, we are out of time for tonight. But we'll be back here another night with another live show, Real Talk with Saieed. Until